courtroom buzzed with energy, packed with a mix of individuals, some anxiously awaiting their own cases, others just curious spectators drawn by the drama of the day. Ryan, a tall and lanky high school senior with shaggy brown hair partially obscuring his anxious eyes, sat trembling at the defendant's table, his hands fidgeted nervously, twisting together in a futile attempt to suppress his fear. Charged with trespassing and vandalism, Ryan insisted it was all a misunderstanding, but as far as the law was concerned, the facts were black and white. The judge slammed his gavel, the sharp cracks silencing the courtroom murmurs. Next case, Judge Steele barked, flipping through the docket. Ryan Hayes, charged with trespassing and vandalism. Defendant, step forward. Ryan hesitated, his throat dry as sandpaper. Swallowing hard, he stood and approached the bench, his overworked but kind public defender, Miss Harper, close behind. Your Honor, Miss Harper began, my client is a young man with no prior record. I'll ask the questions, Counselor. The judge cut her off sharply. His piercing gaze turned to Ryan. Mr. Hayes, do you have anything to say for yourself? Ryan opened his mouth, but no words came out. The weight of dozens of eyes on him made speaking nearly impossible. Well? Judge Steele leaned back in his chair, arms crossed. Did it mean any harm? Trespassing and causing property damage don't just happen by accident, Mr. Hayes. If you're looking for sympathy, you won't find it here. The courtroom erupted in chuckles, and Ryan's shoulders slumped under the weight of humiliation. Ms. Harper stepped forward, attempting to interject. Your Honor, if I may explain the circumstances. You may not, Judge Steele snapped. This young man needs to learn that actions have consequences. The room grew silent, except for the soft scribbling of the court clerk. Ryan clenched his fists, fighting back tears. He felt small, powerless, as if the entire world was against him. But then a thought flickered in his mind. His younger sister, Mia, who saw him as her protector. He remembered his late father's advice, always stand up for the truth. Drawing a shaky breath, Ryan straightened his back and lifted his head, meeting the judge's gaze. Your Honor, he began, his voice trembling but clear. I know what I did was wrong. But you didn't even ask why I did it. The courtroom froze, taken aback by the unexpected strength in Ryan's tone. Even Judge Steele seemed momentarily surprised. Sent you to a hotel for 3 nights? Go on, the judge said, raising an eyebrow. Ryan continued, his voice gaining confidence. The property I trespassed on is the old Stanton warehouse, abandoned for years, fallen apart. No one goes there except the stray animals that live inside. I wasn't there to cause trouble. I was there to help. Explain yourself. What can you explain yourself? The juvenile? There's a stray dog I've been taking care of, Ryan said, his voice steady now. A golden retriever. She had puppies 2 months ago. I found them starving and freezing in that warehouse. I went there to bring them food and blankets. A ripple of murmur spread through the spectators. Even Judge Steele's harsh expression softened slightly. Ryan pressed on. The so-called vandalism was me boarding up broken windows to keep the wind out. I used scrap wood I found lying around. I didn't mean to break the law. I just couldn't let those puppies die. Miss Harper stepped forward. Your Honor, my client took photographs of the animals and their conditions. May I submit them as evidence? Judge Steele nodded, and the photos were passed to him. As he flipped through the images, puppies curled under makeshift blankets, Ryan pouring water into a bowl, his expression shifted from stern disapproval to quiet reflection. Mr. Hayes, the judge said, his tone softer, why didn't you explain this from the start? Ryan shrugged. I was nervous, Your Honor. I didn't think anyone would believe me. The room was silent. Even those who had mocked Ryan earlier now looked at him with admiration. Judge Steele sighed, removing his glasses. Young man, while your intentions were noble, the law is the law. Trespassing and vandalism are serious offenses. However, he paused, glancing at the photos again. I also believe in second chances. Ryan's heart leapt. I'm dismissing the charges, the judge continued, on the condition that you complete 50 hours of community service at the local animal shelter. Additionally, I'll ensure the shelter takes in those dogs and provides proper care. Does that sound fair? Yes, Your Honor, Ryan replied, his voice filled with gratitude. Judge Steele leaned forward. And one more thing. Next time you face a difficult situation, don't take matters into your own hands. Seek help. Understood? Yes, Your Honor, I understand. The judge banged his gavel. Case dismissed. As Ryan turned to leave, the courtroom erupted into applause. Strangers patted him on the back, and Ms. Harper smiled for the first time that day. Outside the courthouse, Ryan took a deep breath of fresh air. His phone buzzed. It was a text from his sister. Proud of you, Rye. Dad would be too. A small smile spread across his face. He had walked into the courtroom feeling defeated, but left with a newfound sense of strength, the power of standing up for what's right, and the impact of compassion, even in the harshest moments. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share.